Hey everybody, this is Mike, and welcome to part 10 of the part 11 of the Chrono Trigger guide. I'm gonna try to keep this all straight, but this one was very complicated. I did a lot of cuts for this video, so try to get it all straightened out. But anyways, this is the Reptite layer, and it is definitely a pretty big puzzle. This is the first hole, so this first floor's got different holes in the ground. And this first one basically leads nowhere. You generally don't even want to bother with that one, the one that's initially there on the ground. But these evil weevils, I believe they're called, the little blue guys running around, they are the ones that make the holes in the ground. The whole thing is the whole dungeon itself is 5 levels. The highest level, there's not much to it, but the 4th level is basically the main floor. That's where you come in at, and that's where you drop down, and that's kind of where the path first splits. And I'll try to do a good job of explaining the different forks and whatnot. But again, the initial hole that's in the ground, I mean, if you just really want to blow through this stuff, by all means, go right ahead. But there are no treasures on the way down. So this is actually I'll call it the 3rd level. And there's nothing in this little room here either. There's just one hole that'll drop you down to, I want to say, actually maybe the next, this might be level 2. I may have lost track of where I was at, I think it was. But then this hole will just lead you down to the bottom floor. And the bottom floor is where basically all the paths converge. So this next clip is I'm back up I call it the 4th level, and this is the bottom left quadrant. So I don't think this one splits off at all. No. I just jumped into a fight with these right away. I didn't wait for this evil weevil to try to drill a hole in the ground, because it doesn't matter. The path doesn't. There's no fork here. And again, I want to say I call it level 3. So one thing to note: the items that you can steal here, if you have Ayla's charm ability, are fantastic. You won't be getting upgrades for a long time if you get these ones here. There is a weapon for Luca, a weapon for Marl, a weapon for Chrono, and a weapon for Robo. They're basically all upgraded versions of what you can get right now at the trading hut, or whatever you want to call it. So here, yep, I upgrade the Sage Bow with the Dream Bow. Alrighty, and let's go down one floor. And again, this side is pretty straightforward. The first 2 paths actually that I take here, the initial path from the 4th floor, as well as like the bottom left quadrant, I guess I call it. All those paths both of those paths are pretty straightforward. They just are straight shots right to the floor, with no forks. Alrighty. And again, yep, so this path will take us right to the floor, and then I've just got to cut, I think I go back to the top. Yep, right to the 4th floor. So alright, so this is the top right quadrant, and there is a fork here, just so you know. I didn't take the left path here. I waited for the evil weevil to put a hole in the ground, and then I went to the right one. That left one takes you to a room that I actually do have a clip of later, and the treasure in there is a ruby vest, but since I planned on taking that route, I was forced down that route by taking another path. I didn't use it for right here. So Just keep in mind that left path, if you're in this room, don't take that left path. That's the initial hole that's in the room as you get here. But you want to wait for the Evil Weevil to make a hole over here on the right side. And that is what I have, yes, taken a clip of. So that leads to the elixir. And then this hole in the ground just takes you to the floor. So that is all for that fork. So here we're back up on the 4th floor. And here I've got the lower right quadrant. And this is the full tonic. So there's also actually a fork here. If you let that Evil Weevil put a hole in the ground, he'll put one over on the right side of the room, and I do have a clip of that in a second. But again, it actually does split here. Let's see which path I took. I assume the first one should be the left, but I don't know. Yes, that was the left path. And this is, I believe, the Ruby Vest. Yes, so this is the room I spoke about earlier. And you know, if you're trying to get everything, I would just recommend following it exactly and doing exactly what I did. Otherwise, you know, you're gonna be spending a lot more time here than you really need to, and it's already it already takes a while. I mean, you know, if you really want everything out of here, you're gonna spend, you know, probably at least an hour here, give or take on your luck, because unfortunately, where the Evil Weevils put holes are kind of random. So. Alright, so going back, I think then this hole just leads to the floor. So here's the other cut of the floor above this, and then taking the right path. So here we've got the full ether, and then I believe I stole from this Megasaur. And one thing you'll want to note, you'll decrease its defense when you use the lightning spell. And you're going to want to do that because otherwise you're just not going to do any damage to these. They have really, really high defense until you hit them with the lightning spell. And that you can steal the Aeon Blade if you've leveled up Ayla, or gotten her enough tech points, I guess I should say. And that Aeon Blade will be really, really good depending on how much time you've spent here. If you've done what I have and spent a ton of time here, and gotten a bunch of cash. That Aeon Blade actually won't last that long. You'll upgrade to the Demon, I think it's called the Demon Edge, that you can buy in 1000 AD. So yeah, depending on how much cash you have, it's either a very, very good upgrade for a long time, or it won't last you as long. But whatever, it's still good. And then this hole just takes you right back to the floor. So, yep, so we're finally on the floor. That was all the paths, that was all the treasures. And then there's a rock helm there. You can just snag these right behind the guys. And then I believe that was a full ether. And everything in here is avoidable, obviously. And this fight is avoidable if you are prepared. If you're holding like diagonally up and to the right, you can actually avoid that fight right there. But obviously I did not. I was not quick enough. But it's a good thing to know for if you're collecting all the treasures, because you're going to be making a lot of trips through this spot right here to get back to the 5th floor. The 5th floor actually is what, you know, there's like a stairway. Actually it's a cave up here to the left. So we'll take a look at that. So that's the cave right there to the left, and if you go that way, that'll take you to like a couple of ladders, and it'll take you all the way up to the 5th floor, and then from the 5th floor there's a hole in the ground that you can drop down that'll take you back to the 4th floor, which is basically the entrance to this place. So yeah, and you know, if you're sneaking through here trying to get back through that cave, this fight is also avoidable. But if you are just traveling or trying to get to the boss or just trying to finish up the area, this is a forced fight, so you will not be able to, or it will not be avoided. And then there is one more forced fight right up here, which I also recommend. Like if you are planning on trying to get the treasure in here, it's not a bad idea to just complete this fight, because it makes a save point. So not a bad idea to just get this done right away the first time you make your trip through, and then get your save point, and that way you can save, use shelters, whatever you want to do. And one other thing to note, so the Megasaur, which we've already stolen from, already got the Aeon Blade, but the Reptites have the upgrade for Robo, the Magma Hand, so they're worth stealing too. And of all the items that you can steal in this area, the Aeon Blade and the Magma Arm are the most expensive, so if you're trying to make cash through stealing, then those are your 2 best options. But that is about it for this spot. So here we will make the save point. Alright, and that battle gives us a save point. And I would highly recommend doing so if you haven't already. You know, if you're trying to get through this place for treasure, it's actually not a bad idea to initiate that fight and get the save point spawned there. Just so you can save, and if you need to use a shelter, you know, or something, save your game. You know, it could be a little frustrating to get a game over or something after you've spent so much time here. But here I unequipped Ayla's stud, because this is the last chance that you get to just an FYI, you lose Ayla for a while after this. So you know, if you've got something specifically an accessory equipped on her that you want to keep, I would recommend removing it right there. So Azala doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you tell him about the gate key or not. It doesn't affect the story in any way. So I chose not to. So sometimes I have told him. Maybe I've bragged a little. I don't know. But here we have Nizbel. That's how you say his name. And you can steal you can steal another 3rd eye from him. So again, you know, I recommend stealing from bosses. I mean, you know, almost anybody that you come across. There's, you know, not everything's got, you know, great steals, but yeah, it's definitely a habit I would say to at least get into, you know, give it a shot. And again, so I've spent a lot of time leveling, so I have a lot of the later techs. You know, so if you don't do much leveling, then you may not have some of these, but you know what? It's not a big deal. I'm sure you'll do just fine. One thing to remember though, specifically for Nizbel, is you'll want to cast lightning on him once, and that'll lower his defense. And then he'll do a little lightning attack on everybody, and that's when you'll have to, yeah, there it is. So when he says he's releasing the electrocution energy, that means you need to recast lightning on him. Because as you can see, his defense goes way back up. So defense power decreases when shocked. Let's steal some ice cubes at him. That's a lot of damage. So, I guess I didn't. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's killed him. I think healing probably would have been a wiser decision there had the battle not ended, but it did. So, situation avoided. And that is the end of the cave. You reptites will rule the world. Your days are numbered. I love it. Well, we'll see about that, buddy. So, alright. We are... Apparently, Ayla doesn't have very good manners, but... It's alright. She's a beast, so... I'd be okay with that. It's a pretty good ally to have on your team, and so there we've now lost Ayla, so we'll get her back later, no big deal. But back to the trio of Chrono, Marl, and Luca, and here I equip Luca with some slightly better gear. I think I left the bandana on her though, because she is still crazy slow. So, now that we have the gate key, we can return to the end of time and make our way. I think we have to talk to Melchior next. Melchor, however you want to say it. I guess I always called him Melchor when I was younger, but I think my mastery of English was mastery of English. I'm by no means a master of English, but back then that was probably not to the level I'm at least right now. So yeah, who knows? But still, who knows? I don't know, whatever. I don't know that it matters much. I think you probably know what I'm talking about, or who I'm talking about, if I at least get semi-close. Alrighty, so let's take a leap of faith here. Get back to the end of time. So, I don't think I would say it's a wise idea to, well, it might be a wise idea to level up Luca and Robo, if you haven't already. If you haven't been working on them, you could take them back to the hunting range, but I didn't feel it was necessary. Again, I don't typically use those two, so I kind of leave them out, you know, in favor of, in my opinion, stronger choices. But you know, again, I said it in one of my other videos. You can make a party of anybody in this game, and you'll do just fine. So here I poked in and defeated Specchio's second form. This one's kind of intense. It does help if you've got the vests from the trading hut, because they'll absorb half of the fire damage that you deal. You know, if you're lucky and he uses fire spells more, you know, it can turn out to be quite well, or it can go really well for you. Otherwise, he's pretty tough when you take him on as early or this early still. But yeah, he's got some ethers and the magic tab, which I believe I used right away. Yes. On Marl. So yeah, 25. Actually, I shouldn't. I guess I shouldn't have said that I was there early. It maybe early on in the story-wise, but you know, you can only take on his second form up until level 29. So I was only 4 levels off, I guess. So not bad, you know. Here, yep, we had to Medina. Or Medina. Oh, I don't know how you want to say that one either, but I always said Medina. So here, I believe I touched on this on my other video, but if you are loaded like I was here, you can stop in at the market and pay these ridiculous prices. Which I did. This stuff again, this gear is really good. The stats are way better than anything else you can get at the moment. So I picked up a Demon Edge. Which yeah, that's pretty awesome. I picked up 1 Lumen Robe for Marl. And then I forget what else I bought. 1 glow helm, 2 glow helms, I guess. Yeah, and then I didn't have it. I was gonna try to sell off some stuff so I could get another flash mail because I was expecting, or I wanted one for Frog, because he's gonna be rejoining us here shortly. But after I looked at my inventory, I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I still had a miso mail for him, so that'd still be a decent piece of gear for him. So, tossed on the Demon Edge, equipped Robo, or equipped Chrono there, and stuck the robe on Marl. So, I'm gonna cut my price for a human. Well, maybe not now. So yeah, that's about it before picking up the Masamune. I don't know why I went back in here. Maybe I got a little confused as to where I actually really needed to go. But yeah, we need to go. We need to poke in and get a sword fixed. So yeah, we're just gonna take the parts of the Masamune to Melchior. I don't know. He must yeah, he had some, I don't know if I'd say qualms about fixing it. He doesn't know, or he didn't want to know where you got all this stuff from. Didn't think his heart could take it. I don't know what they were going for there. The developers, that is. It's not important. So he's just, you know, going through, I guess, the steps that he needs to take to fix the Masamune here. And the scene plays out a little bit different if you've got Robo, I believe. It's maybe the next playthrough I'll take Robo through this stuff, but I've been using Luca as my third character now. So, but yeah, like I said, I believe you can take Robo here instead of Luca, and Robo will assist with the Masamune repairs instead. And here we've finally, after all this work, got the Masamune I'm gonna call it the Massimian for old time's sake, for the little 10-year-old version of me's sake. So the next step is to take it to Frog. So we just gotta go jump in this dude's cupboard. I mean, if I'm gonna go looking for frogs, that's the first thing I think of, is jumping into random people's cupboards. Alright, so here I kind of fail a little bit. Couldn't remember the port that I needed, or the beam of light that I needed to step into, and I tried almost every single one of the wrong ones until, here we go, Truce Canyon. I used to have those memorized, but not anymore. So, yeah, like I said, I think I said it in one of my other videos, I was kind of disappointed the first time I got the Massimian, because I thought that it was going to be a weapon for Chrono. You know, you spend all that time making it, and then it's not for your main character. But you know what? Whatever. It's the way the story goes. So, besides, you know, if you did what I've done, Chrono's Demon Edge is insane. It's really useful for all of these next battles. I mean, his power stats, I mean, off the charts right now anyway, and then combining it with that sword is even better. So he's gonna be doing some really nice damage here. So we're just gonna head down to the Cursed Woods, I believe they're called. Yes. Drop in on Frog. And as I ran through here, I found another new. Got pretty lucky. Stop it, you dog. Oh, too funny. Alright. So, Frog, I believe, yes, wants to ponder the turn of events, so he's got a little bit to think about. And I think I'll just talk about some of this stuff. But so this is obviously a flashback of Cyrus leaving the kingdom to go reclaim the hero medal from the Frog King, I believe, or the Toad King. I forgot what they called him. So it looks to me, so okay, so the Knights of the Square Table. I don't know if Cyrus was the captain of the guards, or if he was just highly respected. But either way, obviously all the soldiers were there. And he says, yeah, you know what, this is up to you guys now. You gotta be protecting the kingdom. And Glenn, here we have Glenn, Cyrus's buddy. And they're off. They got a neat little arc to their story that they get into a little bit later. But you know, it obviously they're good friends, and Glenn joined Cyrus on his journey to get the hero medal back, and it looks like they may have saved the damsel in distress even. Or maybe she was just along as well. Who knows? So here we've got Glenn and Cyrus battling Ozzy and Magus. It looks like the Denadoro Mountains at the peak. It looks like Glenn has been injured. And basically Cyrus just says, hey, you know, you need to go. I'll keep him at bay, or I'll cover your escape. And Glenn doesn't run. And with his dying words, he says to protect the queen. Can't you give him a more fitting form? So here they toy with Glenn a little bit. And Magus casts a spell on Mr. Glenn, who apparently falls down the mountain. Spineless wimp. Boy, I don't know if I would call him that, but can I do it? So there's the first clue, I guess, that Glenn is Frog. It's 10 years has passed, and he says, I've changed so much, and he's thinking or contemplating, I guess, if he can really do it, if he can kill Magus. Maybe settle a debt. We won't be beaten by a bad guy. So true. So here, this is the party that, that's right, I forgot. So I switched in Robo, because I knew I needed to take Frog to the end of time so that he could learn magic. Otherwise, you can't learn any tech. See, he's stuck at Slurp Cut, so you have to take him. Excuse me. You have to take him to Specchio to learn magic. So that is exactly what I did, and yeah, he didn't actually have Mass Mutant yet, but I did equip him with some new gear. Boy, I don't remember what I had on him. Oh, I forgot to equip him with the hero medal here, which I should have. But I realized it quite a ways later. I think I was pretty deep into Magus's castle once I finally realized that he didn't have it on. In the hero medal, if you actually are using the Mass Immune, the hero medal increases its crit rate, so definitely an item that I recommend giving to Frog if you're using the Mass Immune. So yeah, you know, eventually you're going to upgrade to a different weapon other than the Mass Immune. You will find some stuff that's better later on in the game, and at that point, obviously, I don't recommend having the hero medal on because it's not going to do anything for you. But as of right now, and what I should have done was put it on. But again, you know, I completely spaced it out. And one good thing about Frog is his base speed is pretty decent. You know, he gets his turns pretty quick, so that's pretty nice. It's a nice difference between some of the other characters. Obviously Robo's really slow. Luca's really slow as well. Marl's pretty quick, and then Ayla is right up there at the top. I think she's actually technically the fastest character, right when you get her. I want to say that she's even still got Chrono beat, and I've stuck a bunch of speed tabs on him, so she's pretty quick. So here just gotta make sure that you take Frog here, otherwise you're gonna be stuck with Slurp Cut. So you know, obviously, like I said, I recommend taking him here right away and speaking to Specchio. You're the biggest toy I've ever seen. So here Specchio says Robo's laser weapons do shadow damage. And Frog learns to use magic. So that's where Frog picks up his water spell. So do I want to try? No, I've already beat him in this form. So one thing to note too, once you beat Specchio in one form during one playthrough, you can't get rewards from him again. It's, you know, if you want to practice, I guess, for whatever reason, then go right ahead. But you're not going to beat him, or you're not going to get anything for beating him twice in the same playthrough. In the same form, anyway. You know, as he changes forms, you'll beat him then, and he'll give you another reward set. But that is it for this video. Yeah, that ended up being a pretty decent length, so we're gonna cut it off here at about 23.5 minutes, 24 minutes, something like that, and hopefully we will see you for the next one. We will be making the journey to Magus's castle, so I will